going on, everybody? So, as you can see, I came from the very most thrilling adventure of Beetlejuice. Don't say his name a third time because he will appear. Anywho, the movie is like a 36-year in the making project. So, like, yeah, this the first movie was in 1988, 2 years before I was born, and then now here in 2024 we finally get Beetlejuice. I know I'm a little bit late, but I finally got time to sit down and watch this wonderful movie. And yes, this movie is this money for the most part. Did I make it right? Is that the heart? There we go. I know. I want to get this is gonna be my thumbnail. For the most part, the movie is pretty good. The movie is pretty good. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh. It made me nostalgic. But the review, right? This is what you're here for. So, Beetlejuice. Um, like as I said before, Beetlejuice takes place and you can see right here in 2024, 36 years after the events of the first movie, where we find the Dietz family, um, Lydia Dietz and Delia Dietz has become basically celebrities. Um, Lydia is still a goth, and Renona Ryder, as you can see, she's still the gothic Lydia as always. But she's a little more mature here, a little more seasoned because guess what? She's a parent. She's the mother of this person right here. Played by Jenny Tonga. I forgot what is her character's name again. Just Astrid. Yeah, she's the mother of Astrid Dietz. But you find out in the movie they're estranged due to the fact that she kind of, I guess you could say, because of her mother's unique perspective. Um, and by perspective, I mean her abilities to see ghosts. Um, and the fact that I think she's basically like a host of a TV show. Now she's famous because she, due to the fact that she could see ghosts, as the host of the TV show. And it's funny when you see like how she do her TV show. It's kind of funny. It pertains to her ability to see ghosts. Um, Her mother is also famous. For those who've seen the original movies, you remember once again played by our Home Alone mother. Uh, she was a sculptor, if you remember, in the first one, and now in this one we find out that in between the events of the first one and this one, she's become um a famous sculptor this time around, where she was an inspiring one, trying to get off the ground in the first one. Now she's fully off the ground and famous, and everybody is well renowned. They got money now. On top of the fact that they already had money because of uh, Lydia's father here. But what sets the events of this movie off is that something's been going on with Lydia. She's been getting these images of these things, this otherworldly images of Beetlejuice, right? It's some type of weird connection between them. You find that out why when you watch the movie, why she's been seeing him. And thus we get into tragedy, as you I think from the trailer. The trailer spoils that what happened, what tragedy. Just in case you didn't see the trailer, I won't say what it is, but the trailer did spoil. There was a tragedy in the Deeds family that brings them back to the house from the first movie, where Lydia and Astrid she gets to know and observe the setting of the first movie and get to know its history. Um, Astrid meets someone, and then from there, trouble afoot because she gets through this person. She gets pulled into the whirlwind of the supernatural world, and Lydia has to go on this adventure to save her, and it's only one person that can help her this time around, and she's reluctant as yeah, main character here. Also, if you notice, I like that the poster for part two is just a recreation of the poster for part one. It's exactly the same poster for part one, except they add the new characters, and it doesn't have the other people. And Beetlejuice is actually in the same pose that he was in for the first poster of the movie, or the first cover of the movie. So I like that little callback. But yeah, so Lydia gets pulled into this whirlwind of catastrophe. While also there's also the thing that connects both Beetlejuice and Lydia is that Beetlejuice got catastrophe of his own, and thus both have to come together to try to solve both of their problems. Adventure. We got ourselves a movie here. So let's move on to what I like about the movie. It was funny. I love the nostalgia. I love the callback. I love the fact that Astrid here, for the most part, I love that she basically had to learn the hard way to really appreciate her mother and what it really meant to be. Like, you'll see what I mean in the movie, but it's her character arc has a character growth. It's stereotypical. It's kind of cliche, but it's still they execute it in such a way where it doesn't hinder the movie because it's so cliche and so stereotypical. Because Astrid, for the most part, the character of Astrid is basically the stereotypical teen daughter of a movie that you would see like this, that takes place so many generations removed from the first one. And rebelliousness, because obviously, as you remember the first one, Lydia was the rebellious teenage daughter in the first movie. Now Lydia's daughter is the rebellious one. So it's like the roles are reversed now. Now Lydia is her stepmother. Now she knows what it feels like to have a rebellious daughter, and a daughter who kind of don't like you and all that type of stuff. So, but it was executed so well that it actually worked here. Now, one of the things I didn't like was that Beetlejuice himself he almost, when you watch the movie, you will see, if you haven't seen it, but if you have seen it, you will see that Beetlejuice almost feel like secondary. Because then again, they put so many threats in this movie that it was like, wait a minute, I thought Beetlejuice should be even though he is the overarching, because he's as the movie, this is his movie, Beetlejuice. He is the overarching character, but for him to be the actual title character, be about him and somewhat Lydia and stuff like that, he felt secondary here. But that was the one thing I couldn't like get over. No matter how much I thought the movie was good, I couldn't get over the fact that he kind of felt secondary, and it was that he did. I'm not saying he was secondary. He definitely was the main focus, but when you see what all these other threats they put in there, it kind of diminished what he was in the first movie. Because you watch the first movie, Michael Keaton was front and center. You didn't have that sense of, well, it's about this character, this blah blah blah. In this movie, he's not so front and center as he was in the first movie. And that's what kind of buzzed me, for the fact that this movie is called Beetlejuice. To compare to the first movie, yeah, he's not at all front and center in this movie as he was. Like, he had more scenes in the first movie than he had in this movie. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. And then combine that with the fact that you got so many people, You don't just got Beetlejuice. You got two other people who's a threat, mainly his wife that we seen in the trailers. Yes, I can't say that here because it's not a spoiler. They spoiled that. They said that in the trailers that they told you that one of the threats of the movie is his wife who is searching for Beetlejuice. Also, that leads me to the fact that I do like what another thing I forgot to mention that I do like the backstory of Beetlejuice. In this movie, we learned due to the fact that one of the threats is his wife. We learned the backstory of Beetlejuice, how he came to be Beetlejuice, how what led him to the underworld, and all that type of good jazz. So we do get a little bit more expansive story about Beetlejuice and everything because they had to explain why his ex-wife is after him. So they gave us everything pertaining to that. But what leads me back to where I was getting at with the ex-wife as a threat, she's another thing I didn't like about the movie because for what they were trying to hype her as in the trailer, that's one thing this movie failed to execute is that they in the trailer they made her seem like um she was gonna be like the threat to not only Beetlejuice but to everybody. And yet she really wasn't. Like the other the other threat, the other antagonist of this movie was more of a threat than Beetlejuice's wife. The woman that now the woman who played Beetlejuice's wife, she's a wonderful actress. She's the same woman from The Matrix who played the wife of the Neo Vinci. Um, what's her name? Monica. Yeah, Monica. That's the lady like I said from Matrix Reloaded and who played the Neo Vinci's wife. Um, she plays Beetlejuice's wife in this movie, and beyond the backstory part in the present day, she was only there to have a basically to push the narrative of Beetlejuice and Lydia getting together. To she was only there as a MacGuffin or as a plot device more than a threat. She wasn't really like a threat. She was just a plot device to get the movie rolling. And I didn't like that because in the trailers they make it seem like she was a true threat. She was the plot. But in the actuality, once you see the movie, she's not so much the plot. Because the what sets this into motion that brings Beetlejuice and Lydia back together was the other antagonist. And she was just like the driving force. She was like what the other antagonist set everything into motion. She just was the person that glued it all together to keep it going. But she was not really a threat. Like I wouldn't consider her an antagonist at all because she had little to do in the movie, and I was not impressed with her. She had little to do, little whatsoever. She had very few lines. Most, most of her lines was the same line repeated all over and over again. Uh, Either she would say "Where's Beetlejuice," or Beetlejuice is mine. His soul belongs to me. Like that's pretty much her lines in the movie. So other than that, everything else was cool. Michael Keaton's acting was spectacular as always, funny as always. Beetlejuice. Everybody else acting was good. I just didn't like Monica's acting, the woman who played Beetlejuice's wife. I think what's her character name? Dolores. Yeah, she played the character of Dolores, which is Beetlejuice's wife. Other than like as a plot piece to expose Beetlejuice's backstory, she really was like the sour point in that movie. Also, the pacing of the movie, it took a minute because of the 36 years they had to catch you up with what happened with everything. So it took them a minute to get like just how long it took me to do this review. It took them a minute in movie time to really get to the whole Beetlejuice part. Like, he was seeing early on in the movie, in the beginnings parts of the movie, but when they actually got to him, um, you know, it was like almost midway, like in the middle to midway in the movie, like somewhat like that. It wasn't close to the beginning, but I do like how we do get an explanation about the couple from the first movie. We do, yes, that they do explain what happened to the couple from the first movie, so that was another plus to me. At watching the movie, I thought that we wasn't gonna get the explanation. Then, like soon, like you watch the movie, like with me was I was watching the movie, I'm like, dang, we just ain't gonna get no mention of the first couple for the movie. And right when I was thinking that, the next scene, so they explain what happened to the couple for the first movie. So I'm like, oh, okay, well there we go. So that was another thing I like. But other than that, it was an overall good movie. The good outweighed the bad, because the only two. I also love William Dafoe's character. I love William Dafoe's character. He was absolutely funny in the movie, at least to me. Uh, but other than that, yeah, the good outweighed the bad. The visuals was good. I love that Tim Burton kept with the same. He mixed new visuals with the old school Tim Burton that visuals. So it was a mixture of both. And especially when it came to the sandworm. The sandworm looked just like how he looked in the first Beetlejuice movie. And I love that about Tim Burton. I love his style. Yeah, I think the only thing I didn't like was the pacing of the movie and Dolores, Beetlejuice's wife. Yeah, I think that was the only two things I didn't like, was the pacing and Dolores. I could, yeah. The fact that she was, the other thing was too many. It was too many antagonists. That was the other thing I said before too. It was like you had Beetlejuice and two more antagonists, and it took away from Beetlejuice somewhat. So that's another thing. It was just they had like three different people to focus on as a threat, and it kind of didn't work a little bit. Not a whole lot. Not to where I'm like, yeah, this movie sucked. But it was noticeable that it was like, yeah, it didn't work. That's one of the reasons why I say Beetlejuice had more scenes in the first movie than he did in this movie. But what I will give this movie, what would I give Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice. I would give Beetlejuice, and I was gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10, but I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 because it was worthy to be between 8 and 10. So it's not a bad movie, but it's not a perfect 10. Like if I say 8 out of 10, that means I basically, for the three things I didn't like, I took 2 points away from it. I was going to take 2.5 points away from it, but I decided to give it a graceful point. So therefore, I give it an 8 out of 10. Which, for my sister rating, 10 being perfect, awesome is 9, 8 is great. 8 is considered a great movie. This is a movie I would buy on DVD. This was a movie I would add to my collection. It is worth going to see in theaters. There is no post-credit scenes, by the way. No post-credit scenes, no nothing. They do that. They do kind of leave it where it could be. There could be another sequel, but Tim Burton said most likely won't happen due to the fact how long it took them to make the sequel for this one. So at this moment, I think Tim Burton said it most likely won't be a third Beetlejuice, but he did say you'll never know. And the way they did in the movie, they kind of gave themselves away to be like, hey, we might do a third one. So with that being said, you let me know in the comments down below what you thought. If you saw the movie, do not spoil what you think about the movie in the comments. No spoilers in the comments, but just say what you thought without spoiling it. And as always, you hit this button right here for all of my movie reviews. And if you enjoyed this review so much, you want to see more, and if you like it so much, I meant to say, and you want to support the channel, messed up my own little outro. All you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I need you guys to help to do so. And as always, if you want any videos for more of my amazing content, don't go anywhere because I got more. Peace.